Hello YouTubers! Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'll be fulfilling a question that I get asked all the time, which is what is the best whistle for playing at home, for practicing? Which is the quietest whistle you can play? And how do you quieten your current whistles? Noisy people. Now, whistles with a tapered bore generally put out less sound. So if you are looking for something to play quietly at home with, practice regularly with, and not disturb the neighbours, go for a tapered bore whistle. That means it gets narrower as you go down the whistle. So the top end is fat and the bottom end is thin. Secondly, this whistle has a wooden block rather than a moulded mouthpiece. The wooden block softens the air that goes into the whistle rather than directing it. So you get a softer, more breathy, more airy sound that's less focused. So less focused sound is more dispersed, and that more dispersed sound is quieter than if you were to play a plastic mouthpiece whistle with a wider bore. So preferably go for something that's got a block or a wooden block rather than a moulded mouthpiece. This particular whistle has a medium air requirement. Whistles with less of an air requirement can be quieter in some cases. This whistle, as it's a small whistle, as it's tapered bore, as it's a wooden block, does require a lot of air, but that doesn't mean that it gets particularly loud. It's quite a sweet sounding whistle as well, so anything higher or louder still sounds quite nice and soft rather than piercing. Another one of my quieter whistles is my Dixon DX005 or Dixon Pro. This is a polymer whistle, but it isn't a tapered bore whistle, so it is louder than the Clark original. It doesn't require a lot of air, so the lower notes in the first octave and half of the second octave are quite quiet. Although if you get any higher, top end of the second octave or even into the third octave, it can get very loud. The plastic or the polymer gives whistles a bit of a mellower voice than metal whistles, and in general that tends to make them less loud, less shrill, and less of a cutting sound. So for neighbours through walls, this can sound a little bit sweeter, a little bit softer. Some makers do create low whistles with a tapered bore. I know SHHH make low whistles with a tapered bore. That is probably likely to be one of the quietest low whistles going, I would imagine. But I haven't played one, even though I would love to. So if you have played one and it is a quiet whistle, let me know in the comments. Now, there are a few techniques you can use to make your whistle quieter, and that's just taking a tiny little piece of blue tack and covering the little air hole or the blade at the front. Now you want to be covering around about half of the hole, and that will make your whistle playing a lot quieter. If you cover too much, you won't be able to play, whereas if you cover too little, it won't have the desired quietening effect. The problem is, it will make your whistle play out of tune. So if that's really important to you, if you play a lot by ear, or if you don't want to be out of tune with your ear to the music, then I wouldn't recommend playing like this too often, because otherwise you'll get used to it. Also, it alters the air requirements for the whistle. You'll need a lot less air to get into the second octave, so be careful playing with this too often, but it is great for practicing, maybe late at night or early in the morning. So that is it for this short video. I hope that helps you buy a quiet practice whistle, and I hope that helps you quieten your current whistles with something as simple as a little piece of blue tack. You can also use tape or anything you like to cover that, but blue tack is a great option because it doesn't destroy your whistles. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check me out on Ko-fi and Patreon, and don't forget to check out my other videos here on YouTube as well. Oh, I should have put a sound effect there. There's loads for you guys to see and do and play. I've put tips up today, but don't forget to check out everything else as well. Happy whistling, and I'll see you guys next time.